But the thing that the politician really needs to pay attention to on the election campaign is ethos. And ethos is the appeal to character. Namely, it's the person speaking appealing to the audience saying, hey, the character that I have is exactly the character that you want in a leader. Ethos is what you use to get people to like you, or, in the case of many politicians, to hate you the least. That's very important. Now, you know you're in ethos territory when someone starts telling you how awesome they are and all of the reasons why they're awesome. I am awesome because I'm patriotic. I am awesome because I'm educated. I'm awesome because I have good down-home values. I'm awesome because I drink green juice in the morning. I'm awesome because I eat bacon and eggs, and that's traditional. Awesomeness and ethos is implied from just about any sort of signal that we can give someone. That being said, there's a few ways you can strategize communicating your ethos to be really, really targeted. The first manner is to use decorum, which is not about understanding which fork is for dessert and which is for salad. It is about manners, but it's all about adopting and using the manners that are socially acceptable within the group of people that you're speaking to at any given point in time. This does require the politician to be something of a chameleon, because you aren't going to use the same decorum for a church hall full of farmers as you are for a group of oil executives behind a closed-door gala. And changing the decorum that you use with different people isn't necessarily being duplicitous, not necessarily. It's doing what you have to do, but it does piss a lot of people off because it makes them seem like a chameleon. If they do it too often, or if they do it in a way that seems counterintuitive to their personality, we stop trusting them. And that can create a problem where you have become undecorous, where you've breached decorum. Now, decorum can be very subtle. It can be, say, Justin Trudeau's migrating shirt sleeves. That can be considered decorum. It can be very obvious. In Alberta, if you want to be decorous, if you want to do politics here, you had best be willing to stick on a cowboy hat, slap on an apron, and flip a goddamn pancake. You will do this, or so help me God, you will never do politics here again. And the thing is, we know that this is phony. We all know it. How many people here know the ass end of a horse from a camel? I don't. I've never even ridden one. But I am a proud Albertan. And so help me if a politician came here and said, I will not do this, I would be offended down to the very core of my fictional cowboy boots. And for most people, even though when someone is taking part in this, we say, oh yeah, they're mugging for the camera. If they refused, our response would probably be, hey, are you too good for our pancakes? We would not forgive them. And when someone breaches decorum, especially a politician, the outcome can be spectacular. When you're doing decorum right, you don't necessarily notice that it's happening. The person just blends in. Or you say, okay, they're playing the game, it's all good. But when you do it wrong, this happens. Decorum can easily be breached by wearing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing. And thank you, politicians everywhere, for people like me who love hearing you say the wrong thing. It's so fun. It really is. Now, decorum isn't the only way that you can signal your ethos to an audience. You can also demonstrate what's known as your disinterest. That doesn't mean that you don't care about the people you're talking to. It means that you're able to put the interests of the people that you're addressing ahead of your own interests. As you can imagine, this is really, really important to an electorate who's concerned about corruption, because it demonstrates that the politician cannot be bought, in theory. However, disinterest is sometimes really difficult to communicate. There is, though, a genius down south, who is communicating disinterest and ethos in a way that I didn't think was possible, but the polls are showing that, remarkably, Donald Trump is actually really, really good at this ethos game. Many won't believe me because his mannerisms are indecorous to many of us. But you have to remember that he is appealing to a very, very conservative crowd. He is acting as a candidate for the Republican Party. He wants to be their nominee for the presidential election, so he has to follow their lines. And I want you to listen for the ways that he demonstrates not only his disinterest, but also his ethos to this group.
And he'll say, please, please, please. He'll beg for a little while, and I'll say, no interest. Then he'll call all sorts of political people, and I'll say, sorry, fellas, no interest, because I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second. And by the way, I'm not even saying that in a braggadocio. That's the kind of mindset, that's the kind of thinking you need for this country. So.
Oh, I love that one person in the background. Absolutely! Hootenanny! So, this really is brilliant. He's outwardly expressing his disinterest. He's saying flat out, I'm not interested. I don't need the lobbyists' money. I don't need the donors' money. I can't be God because I'm so flippin' rich myself. And his statement, I'm really rich, might sound ridiculous on the surface, but it's loaded, absolutely loaded with ethos indicators. First up, it reinforces his disinterest, but also it communicates things like a strong